Good morning, this is Gina Crochet Gal. In today's video we are going to do a pine cone. I love pine cones. I like to have them spread in bowls throughout my house with the Christmas decor. So I thought I would create a pattern in which I can do that. Okay, we've started with a magic circle. Most everyone knows how to do that already. In the next row, row 2, we're going to do 2 single crochets in each stitch, bringing our count to 12. So go ahead and do that. Okay, we have completed the second row and you should have 12 stitches in the second row. Now what I'm using is a C 2.75 millimeter hook, and I don't know the type of yarn that I'm using actually. It's a coarse yarn, so I thought that would look really nice with a pine cone. It's just a yarn that was gifted to me, so I don't know the type of yarn it is. But again, it is a more coarse in texture. All right, so let's continue. So what we're going to do next, okay, we're going to do 2 single crochets, one in the next stitch here and one in the next, right there. 2 single crochets and then 2 single crochets in the next stitch. All right, so go ahead and do that and I'll meet you at the end. Okay, here in row 3, what we're going to do is we're going to do 1 single crochet in the first stitch and 2 single crochets in the next stitch. Now the difference is we're not going through the front here, we are going to be going through the back loop right here. All right, so you're going to insert your hook right there in the back loop. Okay, so I'll do the first one with you and then we'll meet you at the end. Okay, so here's 1 single crochet, and 2 in the next. 1. Oops, I knew I was going to do that. It's so difficult for me to do tutorials because of where I have to place the camera versus where I can see. All right, so that's what you're going to do all the way around for row 3. All right, so you're going to do 1 single crochet and then 2 single crochets in the next stitch in the back loop only. Okay, so go ahead and go around, and once you put your last stitch into your stitch marker, then go ahead and move it and we'll meet you at the end. Okay, we just completed row 3. You should now have 18 stitches around for row 3. Now for row 4, you're going to be doing the same thing. You're going to be doing 1 single crochet in the next stitch, 1 in the next, and 2 in the next stitch. All right, so I'll meet you at the end of row 4. Okay, we have completed row number 4 and we should have 24 stitches around. Okay, if you get lost and you don't remember what row you are on, you can always count here. So here you have 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so the next round, which is round number 5, you're going to do 1 single crochet in every stitch, bringing row 5 to the same stitch count, which is going to be 24. All right, so go ahead and complete row 5 with 1 single crochet in every stitch, bringing our stitch count to 24. Okie dokie, we have completed round 5, and I just want to note, for those of you who aren't familiar, when you work in the back loop, you are creating this ridge here, and forgive my dry hands. Yeah, so that's creating this stitch here in each row, okay? And there's a reason for that, because we are going to be making petals once we start decreasing. So that's going to happen in the next row, row number 6, okay? So what we're going to do in this row is we're going to do 2 single crochets. All right, you're going to do 1 here and 1 here, and then you're going to join 2 stitches together, and we'll do that together. Okay, so if I drop a stitch or anything, please forgive me because it's a little difficult for me to see. Again, we're going to continue to work in the back loop only. So we're going to go 1, 2, and here's where we're going to join 2 stitches together because that's going to be our decrease. So you're going to insert your hook just like you normally would in the back loop, bring your yarn through, and then in the next one do the same thing. Insert your hook and bring the yarn through. So you have 3 loops. This is joining 2 stitches together, and you're going to yarn over and pull through all your loops, and that is it. We'll do one more together. 1, 2, and then 2 together. I'm sure there's other ways people do it, but this is how I do it. All right, so continue around and then we'll meet you back at the end of the row. Okay, we are at the end of row 6 and we are back down to stitch count 18, okay? So the next 2 rows, which are going to be row 7 and 8, you're just going to single crochet all the way around, and then we'll come back to row 9. So row 7, you're going to single crochet around, place your stitch marker at the first stitch, do another one for round 8, and you will still be at 18 stitches, and then we're going to go ahead and decrease in row 9. So we will come back at row 9. Okay, we have just completed rows 7 and 8, which still has a stitch count of 18 stitches, and I do like to count at the end of every row once in a while just to make sure I'm on track. Okay, so for row 9, what we're going to do is we're going to do 1 single crochet and then 2 together. That's going to be our decrease. So I'll do the first one with you. 1 single crochet, and we're continuing in the back loop, and 2 together, which is the decrease. And that's it. All right, so once we complete row 9, we should have 10 stitches, okay, because we are decreasing. So again, 1 single crochet and then 2 together. All right, so I'll meet you at the end of row 9. Okay, we are at the end of row 9, which brings us down to 10 stitches. At this point, we go ahead and stuff, all right, with any kind of fiber fill of your choice. You can also use scrap yarn ends. I like to do that as well. And so yeah, at this point, what we're going to do is we're going to do 2 together. All right, so the round 10 is going to be only 2 together. So go ahead and do that around, and we should be pretty much closed up. All right, so we'll come back at the end of round 10, and here's where the fun begins. We're going to be creating petals. Okay, here's what row 10 looks like. You have 5 stitches left. Go ahead and stitch that up close tightly using the same process of 2 together. Okay, I went ahead and continued going around the pine cone. As you can see, here's the bottom section, and here's where we began on the top. Now originally your petals look like this. What I did is I puffed them outward, okay? But you can do it however you want. Again, this is the beginning, and then we wrapped around and around and around and around and came to this top section here. Okay, and I stopped leaving a flat bottom. Okay, so you can, whichever way you want to do it, you can. This can be your top or bottom, however you want to do it, and then form your petals accordingly. Okay, so just kind of play around with it, puff them the way you want them positioned, even squeeze it upward, and there's your finished pine cone. Isn't that fun? Now, I went ahead and changed my size here. Not my size, but my hook. The clover, I kept dropping the stitches with this particular yarn. So if you have another size that's the same, different type of hook, you can do that. It won't change anything at all. All right, so again, here is our finished pine cone, and hope you give it a try. Have a great day.